We are in the middle of May right now, and we've gotten a few releases so far with Thunderbolts and the new Final Destination. The summer movie season has begun, and I am so excited, which is why I am giving you my top 10 list of my most anticipated films of the summer from May through August. And this looks like it could be a great summer movie season with plenty to look forward to. From big blockbusters, new films from talented directors, a few animation films I'm looking forward to, and some horror films I'm really excited for. And before we get into the top 10 list, I have 7 honorable mentions. Here they are. Karate Kid Legends, Ballerina. Here's a film that I was very skeptical about, and I didn't think this would be necessary at all. And it is a continuation of one of my favorite comedies of all time, and that is The Naked Gun. The 1988 Naked Gun movie is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I think that movie is absolutely hilarious. Leslie Nielsen was such an iconic comedic actor. And I thought this would be a remake, but it's actually a continuation about Leslie Nielsen's son from the movie. And that trailer was so funny. It did sell me. And also, the last gag at the end of the trailer, that had me cracking up. I don't want to say what it is, just go watch the trailer. It is hilarious. So that teaser trailer did get me more interested in this new Naked Gun movie. Then we have a new romance drama from A24, Materialist. This is Celine Song's follow-up to Past Lives, which I absolutely loved. Such a phenomenal and moving romance film, one of my top 5 favorite films of 2023. This film stars Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. After loving Past Lives, I'm looking forward to her follow-up film. Then a Disney live-action remake coming out this Friday, Lilo and Stitch. I'm not fond of the Disney remakes, but this one actually does look promising, keeping the spirit of the original, and Stitch design looks spot on. And plus, it's the same director who did Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which was really good. So I do have hope for this one. And finally, 2 animated films that just missed the cut, Elio and The Bad Guys 2. 2 animated films from Pixar and DreamWorks I'm looking forward to this summer. With those honorable mentions out of the way, let's get to the top 10 list of my most anticipated movies of summer 2025. Coming in at number 10 is Wes Anderson's new film, The Phoenician Scheme. Wes Anderson has always been one of my favorite filmmakers, and certainly one of the most unique, one-of-a-kind filmmakers we have right now. And he just has that unique style that you can tell immediately this is a Wes Anderson film. And of course, we got a fantastic cast ensemble from both old actors he has worked with before and new actors. From Benicio del Toro as the lead, Michael Cera in a Wes Anderson movie, let's freaking go. Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Benedict Cumberbatch, Riz Ahmed, Jeffrey Wright. The trailer looks really good so far. Everything from the top-notch set design, costume design, cinematography with the color palette, and of course maintaining that quirky, deadpan Wes Anderson humor that I love. There was a part of me that was slightly worried after watching the trailer that it almost looked like a parody of Wes Anderson films. But if the movie is really good, I can overlook that worry. And what interested me about Wes Anderson's new film here is that this is like a spy espionage film, so it's like a first for him, so I can't wait to see what he does with that. And even with a vague plot synopsis on IMDb, it just says the story is about a family and a business. That's it. But I do hope it has a good story here. Now, I didn't love Wes Anderson's last 2 movies. Well, I did really like Isle of Dogs. French Dispatch was good, and Asteroid City I did enjoy, but I personally wasn't a fan of the ending. So I hope we can get a really good Wes Anderson film here. Now, I think it just premiered at the Cannes Film Festival at the time of recording this. I haven't heard a lot of reactions there, but I am looking forward to seeing what Wes Anderson has in store with The Phoenician Scheme. Coming in at number 9 is Nobody 2. Now, I love Nobody from 2021. That was an awesome action movie, and that was the perfect action movie to showcase Bob Odenkirk's action chops. And after the first film's ending, I was curious to see what they could do with the sequel, and it has a new director this time. And I'm excited to see more Bob Odenkirk as Hutch. Seriously, Bob Odenkirk was a freaking badass in that first movie. And here the sequel is revolving around a summer vacation and Hutch going back to his past. And now that the trailer has finally came out, this looks like a lot of fun, although maybe I feel like it did show a bit too much of the story, which is why I'm a little hesitant to watch another trailer in the future. But other than that, this looks like an entertaining action sequel. The action looks well directed, maintaining that same brutal and visceral fight choreography from the first film. And there was an action scene at an arcade. I feel like that fight scene could rival the bus fight in Nobody. And if you thought in 2021 Shang-Chi had an awesome bus fight, watch Nobody. This sequel comes out in mid-August, which is also my birthday month, and this movie comes out a week before my birthday. Sounds like a great birthday present for me. 4 years later, I can't wait for Nobody 2 and hope it's as fun as the first film. Coming in at number 8 is F1, starring Brad Pitt. Joseph Kosinski, I always felt like, has been an underrated director with Tron Legacy, Oblivion, and Top Gun Maverick, which was absolutely phenomenal, one of my top 5 favorite films of 2022. And with F1 and what I've seen from the trailers, this looks like an awesome follow-up. I'm excited to see how Joseph Kosinski incorporated the rip-roaring and exhilarating jet-fighting filmmaking sequences in Top Gun Maverick, and this time applying them to Formula One racing. And from what I've seen in the trailers of the racing sequences, they look incredible, from the sound design, camera work, even more promising that it's done practically. The cast is terrific, from Brad Pitt as the lead, still showing why he is one of the most charismatic actors out there. Kerry Condon is also in this movie, who was phenomenal in Banshees of Inisherin, and Javier Bardem is also in this. This seems like the right movie I want to see on the biggest screen with the best sound system, and I hope Joseph Kosinski makes a great follow-up to Top Gun Maverick. Coming in at number 7, we have a new horror movie, Weapons. This is the one movie on the list, just the more I've been hearing from this movie, it's just going higher and higher on my most anticipated list. Now, I did not see Zach Cregger's directorial debut, Barbarian, that came out a few years ago. I'm mostly familiar with his work on Whitest Kids You Know, a hilarious sketch comedy from back in the day. So I'm really excited to see that he's evolving to a horror filmmaker now. But I'm definitely excited to watch Barbarian before this movie comes out. And Weapons has an interesting concept about one classroom of elementary school students who mysteriously vanish at 2:17 a.m. at the same time, and the community is trying to figure out about the sudden disappearance. I was intrigued when I saw the teaser trailer in front of Sinners, and that quick teaser did kind of remind me of the marketing of Longlegs, and with the second trailer, it got me even more intrigued, and honestly, after that, I don't want to see another trailer. I want to wait until August for this movie to come out, and I don't want to be spoiled too much. Just please give me this movie. This movie looks creepy, well shot, and intriguing. Got a great cast in this movie, from Josh Brolin, Julie Gardner, who I just realized is having a busy year. She was in Wolfman earlier this year, and she's also playing the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. And this and Fantastic Four are coming out 2 weeks apart, so she is busy this summer. And also we have supporting roles from Alden Ehrenreich and Benedict Wong. Really great cast here. And it definitely seems that Warner Brothers or New Line Cinema has a lot of confidence in this movie, putting $38 million into this film. And this film was originally planned for a January 2026 release date, to which, as you may know, January is just like the dumping ground for movies that month. Just a lot of disposable crap comes out around that time. But they actually decided for this movie to come out earlier for summer 2025 in August. And there was a bidding war surrounding this movie. Either Netflix, Universal, Warner Brothers, Sony were going to buy this film. And Universal was so close to buying this film, Jordan Peele actually fired his manager for losing the bidding war on this movie. I've been hearing that the test screenings have been very positive for this movie. It does seem like a great blend of horror and small town drama. Everything I've been seeing from Weapons, from its concept, cast, trailers, all gets me very excited to check out this movie in August. And I believe it has a lot of potential to be one of the best horror films of the year. Coming in at number 6 is The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Now, there is a lot riding on this new Fantastic Four movie, from starting Phase 6 of the MCU, leading to Avengers Doomsday, this having the potential to be the first good Fantastic Four movie, and after Thunderbolts, can this keep the MCU on the right track? And with the 2 trailers, everything about this new Fantastic Four movie looks very promising. The cast looks fantastic. Yeah, I know, cheesy, Fantastic Four. I don't care. The cast looks fantastic, from Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Evan Moss-Backrack as The Thing. I think they're all great choices to really sell that family dynamic and chemistry. The visual effects look great so far. I love The Thing's design, looking more comic accurate, and briefly, we see Reed Richards stretching so far, and I think that CGI looks good. And I absolutely love the tone they're going for with the 1960s retro sci-fi setting. And I feel like that could make it one of the more unique MCU films. And I'm excited to see what director Matt Shakman does with this film after WandaVision was a huge hit TV show for Disney+. The action looks exciting, it looks funny, and I feel like it could have a great heart to it with the family dynamic, as the Fantastic Four are known as Marvel's first family. And with the villain, Silver Surfer looks cool, and finally, Making up for Rise of the Silver Surfer, we finally get a comic-accurate Galactus. Although briefly seen in the trailers, we don't see him entirely, saving him for the movie, to which I like that marketing. Save him for the movie, don't spoil his scenes. And we only get to see like his head and his feet at the end of the trailer. But I'm excited to see Galactus in this movie. And also a great and underrated actor, Ralph Ineson, I believe that's how you say his last name, is voicing him. Whoever was the casting director at Marvel, you did a good job. Just don't waste this actor, please. And if you ever heard his voice, if you've seen him in movies like The Witch, The Green Knight, or Nosferatu, he has that like deep and commanding voice, and I'm like, he is perfect for Galactus. This has definitely been my most anticipated MCU film of the year. After Captain America Brave New World was okay, Thunderbolts was enjoyable. We'll see if this could be the best MCU film of 2025. Just with how much potential it has, just please don't disappoint me. And now at the top 5, and at number 5 is The Life of Chuck. This film has been on my radar ever since it won the People's Choice Award at the Toronto International Film Festival last year, and winning an award like that is usually an indication of an awards contender, leading to Neon buying the movie and planning a summer 2025 release date for it. And I actually did see the teaser trailer in this movie in front of Mickey 17 before it went online, and just when I saw the Neon logo, I was like, okay, what is this? And just seeing either from Stephen King, and then I was like, wait, is this what I think it is? And then from director Mike Flanagan, I was like, okay, this is definitely what I think it is. That and the second trailer, this movie looks so good. It's fascinating to see a director like Mike Flanagan, who has a horror background in films such as Oculus and Dr. Sleep, stepping out of his comfort zone and making a wholesome drama. And this film is based off a Stephen King novel, and the trailers have been highlighting Stephen King's previous work that are dramas such as Stand By Me, The Shawshank Redemption, and The Green Mile. And this movie has a stacked cast here. Jacob Tremblay and Tom Hiddleston are both playing Chuck in different parts of his life. And we also have supporting roles from Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Matthew Lillard, who I saw briefly in the trailer, Cara Lumley, David Dastmalchian, and Mark Hamill. What a terrific cast we have here. Just with all the great reviews I've heard from people who have seen this movie, the trailers and cast, I am very excited for this movie to go wide. And if there is one summer movie I could see being an awards contender, could be Best Picture Player, I think this could be it. Coming in at number 4 is 28 Years Later. Now, I do want to be honest, I have not seen 28 Days Later nor 28 Weeks Later, but with the 2 trailers I have seen for 28 Years Later, 10 out of freaking 10 trailers, I am so freaking excited for this movie, man. I am so excited to check out the first 2 movies before this one comes out. I will do my homework. I do know Danny Boyle directed 28 Days Later, and he is coming back for 28 Years Later, and I'm excited to see what he does with this. I love Danny Boyle as a director from Slumdog Millionaire, 127 Hours, Steve Jobs, and Alex Garland, who wrote 28 Days Later, is back writing this movie, and I think he's going to have a great year so far, with Warfare, one of the best films of the year so far, and the trailers of this movie have been incredible, some of the most scariest and intense trailers I have seen in a long time. Seriously, whoever was responsible for editing those trailers, please edit more movie trailers from now on. From how the movie is shot with its cinematography, terror, and tension, and how the trailer uses the recordings of boots. And one of the interesting facts I heard about how this movie was shot, it was even shot on an iPhone. So I'm curious to see how a big movie like this is shot on an iPhone. And we have a great cast here from Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, Ray Fiennes is also in this movie. And I also know that Cillian Murphy is an executive producer on this movie. Could he also be acting in this movie or make a little cameo? I don't know. We'll see. Like with Weapons, this also has potential to be one of the best horror films of the year. Although Sinners, which I bumped up to an A+ on a second viewing, is my favorite film of the year so far and could be very hard to top since that's also an amazing horror movie. So we could see how the competition goes. So 28 Years Later, bring it on this June. Coming in at number 3 is the new horror film from A24, Bring Her Back. A few months ago, when the teaser trailer for this movie was released, it just skyrocketed into my most anticipated list. I love Daniel Michael Filippo, aka Rocka Rocka's directorial debut with Talk to Me in 2023, my pick for the best horror film that year. I thought it was a unique and gripping prop horror movie that wasn't just style over substance and also had various serious themes of grief. And after that film, I was immediately anticipating their follow-up film. Oh my god, this looks even scarier and unsettling than Talk to Me. And I feel like this movie is going to further prove Daniel Michael Filippo's talents as horror directors. It seems they have a knack for telling disturbing stories about grief while also showing their style as horror filmmakers, which I love seeing. Bring Her Back has an interesting story about two siblings uncovering a terrifying ritual at the secluded home of their new foster mother, played by Sally Hawkins. And I'm excited that Sally Hawkins, an Oscar-nominated actress, is in this movie. She was phenomenal in The Shape of Water. I've been hearing great things from people who have seen it at early screenings, and I really hope this is another awesome horror movie from Rocka Rocka. Coming in at number 2, we are so close to Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I am a huge fan of the Mission Impossible franchise ever since the third film, and 4 and beyond have been great to phenomenal, and Fallout easily being the best one with the best action. Dead Reckoning was amazing. This looks like an exhilarating addition to the Mission Impossible franchise. I am just still in awe of Tom Cruise performing these dangerous stunts at 60 years old, just with his commitment, energy, and charisma. Just Tom Cruise. He's the GOAT. I'm just still amazed at everything he has done for the Mission Impossible franchise and other action movies like Top Gun Maverick or Edge of Tomorrow. And I'm still happy that Christopher McQuarrie is still directing these Mission Impossible movies ever since Rogue Nation, and he's always done a fantastic job handling this franchise. And I hope with The Final Reckoning it has a riveting story, and the trailers do seem to imply some finality to it. Maybe, maybe not. Could this be the final Mission Impossible movie? I don't know, but we'll see. And the action, of course, looks incredible. I can't wait to see this movie on the biggest screen. 2 action scenes I've seen in the trailer so far that I can't wait to see in the film. 1, this underwater stunt involving this submarine. I can't wait to see that. And also what seems to be the biggest highlight, Tom Cruise hanging on the wing of a biplane. Oh my god, my heart is pounding. My palms have been sweating every time I've seen that stunt in the marketing. I can't wait to see that sequence on the biggest screen. Now, I have been hearing from early reviews that this one is not as good as the previous Mission Impossible films. It does get me worried a little bit, but I am still optimistic, wanting to go in. All I want for this is an entertaining and satisfying Mission Impossible film. As a huge fan of the franchise, I hope this is awesome. And now for my number 1 pick for my most anticipated movie of the summer. I think you might know what it is. It comes out in July. It starts with an S. I have been so excited for this movie, and that is, of course, Smurfs. Yeah, right, that movie looks like shit. My real number 1, I'm wearing this shirt for a reason, and that is, of course, Superman. I have been anticipating this film ever since James Gunn was announced that he's going to be in charge of DC and rebooting the DCEU, plus with his announcement in his DC slate of Gods and Monsters, where he announced that he was writing a new Superman movie and later announced that he was directing it. A new Superman movie written and directed by James Gunn. Hell yes. And just everything James Gunn has been doing for comic book films and TV have been amazing so far. From the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, which is all in my top 10 MCU movies, he did a phenomenal job with that trilogy. I love the first Guardians film. Volume 2, I think, is the most underrated MCU film. And Volume 3 was an incredible ending to that trilogy. And The Suicide Squad is hands down my favorite DCEU film. So obviously that's an indication of why I'm excited that he's in charge of DC now. So with all of that, plus on TV with Peacemaker and Creature Commandos, I have no doubts about James Gunn doing this new Superman movie. And that teaser trailer that came out in December was fantastic, just with the minimal dialogue and brief glimpses we got so far. And with the second trailer, all I could say is, after watching it, I was on cloud 9. It looks incredible. I loved in that second trailer we get to see a bit more of David Cornsweet's performance as Clark Kent / Superman. He really seems to nail that charisma, optimism, and humanity about Clark and Superman, about wanting to do the right thing and helping people. I love seeing more of the chemistry and romance between him and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, who also looks terrific. And I'm also loving the brief glimpses we get of Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. He's always been a great actor in movies such as Mad Max Fury Road, The Menu, Nosferatu. I can't wait to see his own version of Lex. I'm also liking in his facial expressions and what we've seen from him. He really seems to be selling his disdain for Superman. And I just hope his Lex is better than Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, whatever that was. That was not Lex Luthor at all. I have a Jolly Rancher. I'm gonna put it in your mouth. Oh, it's Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent meeting each other. I want to bring people together. You better go say Martha, You're not Lex. Shut up. And the visual effects so far look amazing from both the CGI, but what I've also seen on a behind-the-scenes video released on Superman Day, there actually are some practical effects used in this movie, which was very refreshing to see, and I love seeing James Gunn apply that in The Suicide Squad, which also had an excellent mix of practical and CGI. Looks lighthearted and colorful, capturing of what Superman should be as an optimistic and peaceful symbol of hope. I love that this is not an origin story, focusing on a new and interesting story with an established Superman. The action looks awesome, the music I've been hearing in the trailer sounds amazing, and of course, freaking Crypto! I am so in. James Gunn understood the assignment, I can't wait. And also, hearing that James Gunn inspired Crypto off of his own dog, I think that's heartwarming. I am curious about the supporting characters of Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and Guy Gardner, one of the Green Lanterns. I'm curious to see how they'll be utilized in this film, and I don't want it to be just a setup movie for the DCU. I'm sure James Gunn is smart enough to know that and wants to make sure they'll stand out on their own. I'm sure he will do some setups, but I don't think it will distract from the overall story of the film. I think it's giving me the same feeling as I got with The Batman a few years ago. With how much I love that movie and thought it was a phenomenal Batman movie, it felt like the Batman movie I have been wanting to see for a long time. This feels like the Superman movie I have been waiting to see for a long time, and I have full confidence in James Gunn that he's going to knock it out of the park here. And everything about this movie gives me so much hope. It's both my most anticipated film of the year and my most anticipated film of the summer, Bring On Superman, this July. And James Gunn has said this is the true beginning of the DC universe. I hope it starts off strong. And that right there is my list of my most anticipated movies of the summer. This looks like an awesome summer movie season, and I hope these movies deliver. And I would like to hear from you guys. What are your picks for your most anticipated movies of the summer? Do you have a top 10, top 5, or your number 1 pick? Let me know in the comments below. Did you enjoy this top 10 list and want to see more videos like this in the future? If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here, and don't forget that notification bell for my next upload in the future. It really means a lot. My social media links are in the description down below. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and if you'd like to see my written reviews, I do have a letterbox, so if you'd like to follow me on there as well. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.